We'll start our official warm-up here in just a couple of minutes. But if you're already ready to move, you can start adding in some stretches. If you're at home, hopefully you're close by a window or an open door. It's beautiful outside. We finally have some clear air in our whole greater Sacramento area. I'm just starting to warm up my shoulders, adding in a couple of stretches. We'll wait until our 8 o'clock time before we start our official warm-up here. I do see lots of people hopping on now. If you are just joining us, you will want a set of dumbbells, and then if you have a kettlebell close by, that would be great. If you don't happen to have one, that's fine. We'll make everything work. It actually is going to be a lot of body weight exercises today. So even if you don't have any weights, it's going to be a challenge. All right, let's start in with some of our good mornings. For my good mornings, I like to start just reaching up towards the sky and then coming down, touching the toes. A nice big stretch, maybe holding at the bottom here. Good morning. After a few rounds of our good mornings here, let's take it into some squats. Just thinking about your nice, perfect squat. Starting the movement with your hips as you're pushing back. Keeping the spine in neutral here. You'll want a set of dumbbells for curls and squat press and a kettlebell. Then we're stepping it back into our back lunges. Now, whenever we're doing our back lunges, mind your shoulders. Shoulders stay stacked over the hips here. We're not hinging forward. We're just starting to warm up, so take it slow, not going for a big range of motion. Couple more reps. And then make your way down to the ground. We're going into our plank, and then we'll come back into downward dog, forward into plank. A nice flow here. If you want to come hold in your down dog position for a nice good stretch, you can hold there for a moment. A few more rounds, and then we'll be on our back. Making your way down onto the floor, we're doing some crunches. When we're doing our crunches, we're just lifting the sternum up towards the knees, keeping a nice space between the chin and the chest. Feeling our abs wake up and say hello to us this morning. 3 more. We'll start in with some glute bridges. All right, glute bridges. Striding through our heels. Hips are coming up. Yeah, if your back's not quite ready, you can take it into some small hip tilts to start as everything is waking up. Three more of our glute bridges and make your way up to your feet. All right, back up onto our feet. We're already ready to take my top layer off. We're going to take it into jacks. If you're ready to take it at a hop, great. I'm just going to be stepping it out. Trying to get a good range of motion with the arms. If you haven't taken my class before, my name is Annie. We're here in Davis this morning. We're here for 10 more seconds, and then we're going to come back to our good mornings. Doing all of these exercises over again. 2, 1. For second round of good mornings, let's take it at a hinge. We started with a toe touch. For our hinge, we're keeping the back nice and flat, pushing the hips back. I know lots of people are still hopping on, so I'm going to be repetitive. You want a set of dumbbells, and if you have a kettlebell, great. If you don't, dumbbells will work. I know a lot of you are going to have a hard time seeing my board, so you'll hear me calling out all the exercises. Don't worry, I will give you lots of notice. Let's take it into our squats. Now that we're in our second round, we're starting to push our range of motion maybe down into a bit of a stretch. How are you this morning? Well, thank you. How are you? Pretty good. I like your pants. Those are fun. A few more squats and we're stepping back into our back lunges. Just like with our squats, now we're going to push the range of motion, go a little bit lower than we did last time. Still making sure shoulders stay stacked over your hips. All right, to the floor, plank into downward dog flow. Hips up really high when you're down in your down dog. Press your chest towards your shins and then drop forward for your plank. Now we're dropping forward for our plank. Make sure we're just coming to a straight line. The hips never lower below that line of shoulders, hips to heels. You need 2 more rounds of this flow, and we're on our back. Making your way to your back for our crunches. Maybe adding in some sit-ups or some roll-ups. Roll-ups are just where you're rolling up one vertebra at a time, nice and slow. Or you can stay here in that crunch, your choice. We'll be here for about 10 more seconds. Good, let's come into our glute bridges then. Feet are gonna be really wide now. We're taking it into wide glute bridges, and you'll see these later. Working our glutes a bit differently. All right, now let's come into narrow glute bridges. Feet are all the way together. Legs are pressed together. Knees are squeezing as you're coming up. Feels very different than our wide glute bridge. Working some very different muscles. Giving me 3 more here, and we're on our feet for jacks. All right, on your feet. We're doing these jacks to get your cardio up. So if there's a different exercise that you want to do, maybe you're heading outside for a minute or so for a short run, but I want to get blood in your muscles, get your heart pumping. Maybe taking it a little faster now. A good range of motion. So getting your arms all the way up. I feel a little stretch in my shoulders. 10. Oh, and let's come on down. All right, let's grab a sip of water. My mouth gets really dry. And we're going to go over how our next set is going to look. Now, if you do happen to be working out with somebody else in your home, you can officially do this kind of like partner idea where one person's doing one thing and the other person is doing the other thing. But I think for ease for this morning, since we're in studio and in person, you guys are all going to do what I'm doing. So we are going to start off. We're going to be doing 45 seconds per exercise. And then how this will look, I just saw that my screen got really dark. Oh, now I'm lighting it. Okay, good. We'll be doing 45 seconds of push-ups. We'll have a quick transition. Then you'll go over to person 2, and we're doing 45 seconds of partial squat thrust. We'll go back and forth down this list. So really, it's going to be 6 exercises. I'm going to go over all of these exercises with you right now. They're all going to be pretty familiar for our quiet people. All right, starting in with your push-ups. You can do your push-ups from your knees if that's your best push-up. You can do halvesies, where you're on your toes and then come down to your knees, or you can do all of your chest push-ups here off of your toes. You can do a mix of any of those. Partial squat thrust. You can step these out or you can hop it out. Stepping out or hopping out into your plank and then coming back up. If you're going to step it out, I want to see a right foot and then a left foot. Go alternating. Then we're down for our sit-ups. If you want to have a weight at your chest, you can. We're coming all the way up through this whole range of motion if you can. If it's better for you to stay at your crunch, then you can go ahead and stay there. Coming into our squat pulses, I invite you to have a weight at your chest for your squat pulse, minding your knees. Then we'll go right into our 1-2 stick. 1-2 stick. 1-2 stick. This is also used to be called a Heisman. Now, when I'm coming into my stick, it's like a 1-foot squat. Butt pushes back. See my knee? None of this. All about pushing your butt back. There's our 1-foot stick. Last exercise in this set of 6 is a V-up. You can come one leg at a time. You can do both legs. You can keep it at a crunch here too, if that's better. Lots of different versions, and you can mix up through that 45 seconds what version you're doing. This will be all 45-second pieces, 10 seconds in between. I know it's ready to look like a partner workout, but we'll make do. You guys know how to follow this. We're going to make your way down to the floor, starting with our push-ups. Starting with your best level of push-up. Let's go in 2 and 1. Here we go. Good. When you're coming into your push-up, let's make sure your shoulders stay down and back. No chest collapsing. Doing as many as you can at your highest level, and then maybe take it down a level, and if you can come back up to finish. We have 15 more seconds here in our push-ups. Partial squat thrust will be next. 5, give me a couple more reps. All right, making your way up to your feet. Partial squat thrust is next. Now it's a short 10 seconds. We're starting this up in 2, 1. For these, you can step this out, or you're adding in your hop. Do make sure that if you're stepping it out, you're alternating which foot is going back. If this is hard on your back, you can always come down and have your hands on, say, like a bed, a couch, anything that's really stable, a chair, a box. We still have 20 more seconds of these. We should be taking it at a pace where our heart rates are getting up. We're huffing and puffing a bit. 10. Our sit-ups will be next. 3, 2, 1. Making your way to the floor. Sit-ups. If you want to have your weight at your chest, you can. We're starting these in 2 and 1. Getting a good exhale every up. If you want to add a press here at the top for your sit-ups, you can, as long as it's not pulling into your back. We're over halfway through these. Ten more seconds. Squat pulses will be next. 2, 1. Up and at your feet. I'm going to grab your weight, holding it at the chest for squat pulses. Whew. 10 seconds is not a long time. Here we go. Squat pulses. Everybody mind your knees. Knees are stacked nicely over your feet. They're not pulling in. They're not shooting over your toes. Good outside. We're over halfway, so legs should be burning. If they're not, you need to take it a little lower. Especially if you're holding your weight. Mind your back. Back stays in neutral. No grounding. Nice and flat. 10 more seconds. Everybody give me another inch down. 1, 2, stick will be next. 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Weight is down. All right, 1, 2, stick. 1, 2, stick. 1, 2, stick. That's how that looks. We're starting this up in 2, 1. I'm going to show you from the front, and then I'm going to show you from the side. So I want you to see what my hips are doing. Butt is pushing back as I sink into that 1 foot squat. Holding it just long enough so that you have to balance a little bit. We have one more exercise in this round. After this, we'll be back on the ground doing the ups. Let's sink a little lower in our stiff position, a nice 1 foot squat. So we're feeling our quads and our glutes engaged. 4, 3, 2, 1. Make your way to the floor, V-ups. You can use one leg or two. I love one. Starting these in 2 and 1. If you are choosing to do 2, do make sure that you're really controlled on the way down, whether you're using one leg or 2. No body's flopping to the floor. We'll get a rest after this. Let's try to keep moving to the end here. 15 more seconds. Last couple. 3, 2, and 1. Woo. All right, take your rest. Grab a set, towel it off, and we are going to do that same set again. All the same 6 exercises. Now that you know them, I'm going to ask you to take them maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit faster, but I want you to notch it up about 10%. We're all good and warm. We know what we're doing. I'm going to reset my timer here so I can see it. All right, we'll be starting with our push-ups, so make your way back down to the floor. Starting with your best level of push-up. We're going in 2 and 1. In your push-ups, do make sure your hands are under your shoulders. Resist that urge to scoot your hips back. After a round of the full push-ups, I'm coming into halfsies. And I know I'm probably going to jump to my knees here too. We still have 20 more seconds. Should be at a nice burn level. Woo. Last 5, give me a few more. 3, 2, 1. Woo. All right, make your way up onto your feet. That was hard. This next one's hard too. Partial squat press. You can hop it up. You can walk it up. Starting these in 2, 1. Doing these off an elevated surface if you need to. Trying to get all the way back in this full plank before you come back up. If you're walking it back, do make sure you're getting into your full plank and not shortening your plank. Woo. It's getting hard for me to track too. That's where you should be. 15 more seconds. Three, 2, 1. Oh, nice job. Those are hard. Make make your way down to the ground. Sit up. Adding your weight if you want. Woo. Starting these in 2, 1. I know that 10 seconds is a quick transition. Doesn't really allow you to catch your breath. If you need to pause and take a moment, that's fine, but come right back to it. In these sit-ups, a nice good exhale as you're coming up. No one holds their breath, especially in core exercises. 20 more seconds here. I've got ticket in my front too. 4, 3, 2, 1. Up on your feet, swap pulses. Adding your weight to your chest for a little extra if you like. I'm still huffing and puffing from the first squat thrust. Starting in 2, 1. Pulsing it out. Everyone at home, take a look at your feet. Take a look at your knees. Knees should be situated over the feet. Turn so you can see. I don't want anybody here. I don't want anybody's feet rolling out. If you're not feeling that burn, take it a little lower. We have 15 short seconds. 1, 2, 6 will be next. 3, 2, 1. All right, 1, 2, 6. 2 steps in a 1-foot squat. Going in 2, 1. 1, 2, stick. When I'm doing these, I really think about just pushing my butt back as soon as that foot hits the floor. We're already at a halfway point. Maybe try picking up your pace. We will finish this round with V-ups on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Making your way to the floor. V-ups are next. 1 leg or 2. Starting in 2, 1. If I was there, I would be able to hear your exhale as you're coming up. You have to train your body to use your breath for some of these core exercises. I want an exhale on the up. $20 more seconds. We have a rest coming up. Keep moving for our final 15. Two and 1. Woo. All right, here's our rest. I'm all for the cleaner air, but it's really dry. The air is super dry in here. I'm telling you, that just means you gotta drink some more. Okay. Yes, you'll see. I do have another set sitting down here, but we're gonna do some Tabata work in between before we hit that next set again. Okay, what our Tabata work is gonna look like. We're doing 6 rounds of each exercise. What Tabata is, and I know you might not be able to see some of these, I'll shout them all out. What Tabata is it's 20 seconds on, and then 10 seconds will either be off or there'll be a hold. So for Running Man, it'll be 20 seconds on, and then we are going to take a 10-second rest. We'll do that 6 times through. I'll show you all of our exercises. Squat jumps, We're doing 20 seconds on, then we're doing a 10-second squat hold. We are going to be doing that for 6 rounds through. You need to take a rest instead of a hold, that's fine, but challenge yourself to do at least a couple of the holds. Royal drillers, important, I want to show you these. We'll be going alternating right and left. You can have your hands open overhead. I like to keep my hands here, really minding your pelvis. This is a 1-foot hinge. The goal here is to be really square through your hips. Probably none of us actually are, but we're going to wrestle with it. Now for your royal drillers, I would like you to come down and into your hold for your 10 seconds. And that's hard and you'll probably fall over, but that's okay. Then for our last exercise, it's going to be butt humpers. And we'll be rotating between right and left for these two. Actually, I lied. We're doing all right and then all left. They're 1-foot glute bridges. Nice small movement. And then we will be holding for our 10 seconds. All right, make your way down to the floor. Running man next. 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest. Tabata style. Let's start this up in 2, 1. Good modification. So if you are laying off your wrist, my friend Elsa was doing standing running man at a march or at a run. That's a great modification if you're trying to stay off of your wrist this morning. We're still here for 3, 2, and 1. Take your rest. We're doing 6 rounds. That's 3 minutes straight. Round 2 in 2, 1. And you're running man. Keep your shoulders over your hands. Your chest is open. You should be able to have your gaze out in front of your hands and your fingertips. 5 more seconds. And time. I definitely like having that rest in between the running man. Number 3. And go. 20 seconds doesn't feel like a long time until you're on your 5th Tabata. And it definitely does. 5. And time. We're halfway through. That was 3. Number 4. And go. Oh, my shoulders are screaming. Five seconds. And time. We have 2 more. You can. Here we go. Number 5. And go. That's 5 seconds. 2, 1. We have 1 more. Oh, this one is boring. Last one of these. Here we go. 2, 1. Let's go. Fight to stay up and in for 20 seconds. This is when you're getting stronger. Already halfway. 3, 2, 1. And stretch it out. All right, squat jumps will be next. If you need to keep this low impact for your squat jumps, you can come down and just onto your toes for your lower impact. That works too. We're going to be doing a squat hold in these 10 seconds. It's not a squat, folks. Here we go. Squat jump Tabata, starting in 2, 1. Nice soft landings. This is a lot of squats, so I'm not looking for a lot of height. We're working on endurance. Deciding now if you're going to choose your challenge and stay in that squat hold And hold. 10 seconds, and then we'll come back for round 2. And go. Good, Elsa. Nice soft landings. Legs should be definitely be saying hello at this point. And here's your hold. Oh boy, that was number 2. 4 to go. Number 3, here we go. Speaking less, because this is really hard. Try to stay with me. Here's your hold. Number 3. If you need to stand up and kick it out, that's fine. Come right back down to it. Number 4, and go. No matter what I say, do not compromise your form. If your joints are hopping, if you're in pain, you need to stop, reset. If you've got a good burn, keep at it. That's what we're here for. 2, 1, hold. Oh, this is hard. No, not even that low. If it's not hard, I'm not going to take it lower. 3, 2, 1. Number 5. We have 2 more. Five more seconds. Keep it moving. Oh, hold. Back check. Nice neutral spine. Here's our last one. All right, take it faster. Here is the sprint. Everything you have for your last 20. You can do this. 10 more seconds. This is the one you'll feel more of, folks. 2, 1. Don't forget your hold. 10 short seconds. 5, 2, 1. Oh. Oh. Ouch. All right, oil drillers are going to be next. I need to grab my water first. If you know you're really going to wrestle with your balance, these oil drillers, you can maybe set yourself up kind of next to a wall, something that you can have fingertips on, so you can focus on keeping your pelvis really square. I'll show you from the front. I want to see this, and even mine is definitely not perfectly square, and not this. And most of us, that's what our hips are going to want to do. Even if your range of motion is smaller, and that's why often I'll put my hands on my pelvis so I can feel. Try to keep your hips square. This is an important movement for intervention. So we are in oil drillers. We're going to be doing every other. Right side, left side. Adding in your hold down in the lowest part of that driller after our 20 seconds. All right, I'm starting with my left side. We're going in 2, 1. If you want to have your hands up at shoulders, great. If you want to have them on your pelvis, so you can feel what it's doing. Ideally, you're not bringing down that opposite foot at all. All right, we're going to come down and then hold. Do a little pelvis check. Is your pelvis pretty square? 2 and 1. Stay. Then we're switching sides. Sorry. Yep. Now, I know it would have been a really good burn to stay on the same side, but I find that I have a really hard time doing it right if I do a whole bunch over and over on the same side. I'm much more interested in you doing it well. Now you're down for your hold. Spine should be in neutral. Gosh, on this one I'm just pouring, so even more than the last one. And then we'll come on up, we'll switch sides, other side. Going right into it, because the hold is sort of our rest, right? Definitely not a rest. If you have an opportunity to check in maybe a mirror or even like the reflection in a window, try to do that so you can see where your body is in space. Now let's hold on this side. We're on number 3. Good, let's switch. Now lots of us are going to be wobbling through this. That's okay. Some of our exercises we do are awkward and wobbly, and that's the whole point. Training our bodies to stabilize. Let's come on down and hold. We will have one more round on each side. All right, back up. Woo. This should be your 3rd round on this last side. I'm sweating on my phone. It's mostly waterproof. It's okay. My trusty timer. Down and hold. I think it's the after sweat of the sweat house too. Let's be real. 3, 2, and 1. And we'll switch. This should be your last side. 3rd round on your final side. I'm feeling a good stretch at the bottom of this range of motion. I can definitely feel my hips not staying square, though I'm tightening them. Come down and hold 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good, shake it out. Okay, we're going to be down on the floor. For our butt pumpers, these are 1-foot glute bridges. We are going to be doing 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. I really do have a reason for why I do all of this. Okay, it's not arbitrary. All right, for butt pumpers, one leg is up. Think aside to start the burn with. Hips are coming up and down. 20 seconds in a hold, starting in 2, 1. Now I'm starting with my left side working, my right leg is up. Make sure that that down foot is all the way on the floor. I don't really like it through the heel because you can irritate the shin that way. 3, 2, 1, and hold. Good night, I'm already shaking. My hamstring is twitching. Here we go, round 2. Up and down. Oh. Hopefully you're feeling this in your quad and your hamstring like I am. This is killer. 2, 1. I'm coming into a little bit of a hamstring cramp, so I'm taking a rest and then coming into my hold. All right, number 3, and go. Last round on this side. It is okay if you're barely moving, because I'm barely moving. We're just doing the best that we can, pulsing through this. Adding in that hold here in 3, 2, 1. Hold for 10. Oh gosh, I hope my right side is not this hard. 2, and 1. Oh. Okay, bring your knees into your chest. Good, good. Hug on your knees. Now we all have different exercises that are harder for us than other people, and this one is always so hard for me. So if you're like me, you feel it, or maybe you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. We're all different. All right, other side. I'm doing my right side. Butt pumpers. Starting in 2, 1. 20 seconds, and then a 10-second hold. My left leg is still screaming, even though it's up in the air. Three, 2, 1. Here's the hold. Which might be harder than the pulse. And then back to the butt pumper, round 2. Three, 2, 1. Here's your hold. I'm coming into a cramp. Okay. We have one more round of this. And go round 3, a few more of these pumpers. You can do this. Try to keep moving. Ten-second hold coming up in 2 and 1. Give me 10 seconds. Push to that foot on the ground. Quads are working, glutes are working. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, bring your knees into chest. Get a hug in your knees. That was gnarly for me. Okay, we are done with Tabata. We are coming back to the partner work we were doing before, which is really a lovely list of 6 pretty hard exercises that we'll be doing in 45-second pieces. So, let me go over our exercises for us. Checking out our time. Oh, we got time. We're good. Okay. So, first exercise. I know there's glare on the board. I'll call everything out. Plank up downs. Many of us are going to be doing these down on our knees, and that's great. If you're on your toes or your knees, you want to make sure you have a nice, a wide stance, because I don't want to see much booty shaking. Hips should stay nice and still. Now, our hands will go where our elbows were. None of this reaching out all the way out in front of you. Hands are placing where your elbows were. You could do every other. You could do something like 5 on one side, 5 on the other side, but do make sure you're changing up right and your left. Then we're going into push press. Right? This is similar to a squat press, but you're kind of just going into like a mini squat. It's also a little bit of an Olympic lift. So you're down and then pushing the weights up and overhead. Now my legs are doing like 80% of this work. My arms are doing 20%. Similar to your squat press. Okay, then we're taking it into kettlebell swings. If you don't have a kettlebell, that's totally fine. For a kettlebell swing, this is a hinge, not a squat. Hinge, first forward. If you have, you can also do 2 dumbbells if you want to make it heavier, or you have your one practicing your explosive hinge movement. Okay, top squats. Out, in, out, in, out. For our low impact, you're stepping it out and together here. Number 5, 2 more. We have our ball ups. You can come in with both feet. You can come in at one. You can come in at a crunch. Your choice of those 3 versions. And then we're finishing off with our bicep curls here. All right, those are our 6 exercises. Make your way down to the floor for our plank up downs. Now, if you're laying off of your wrist, you can come into a plank hold. That's also going to be great. Wonderful, excellent exercise, great modification for this. All right, we're coming into our plank hold. These are 45-second pieces, starting in 2 and 1. Plank up downs, 4 plank holds. I like to start doing as many of these as I can on my toes, but then when I maybe start to feel it in the back or feel like I'm rocking too much side to side, I take it down to the knees. How still can you keep your hips? Imagine that. A teacup on the small of your back. We're not spilling any tea. That's why I do take mine down to my knees to make sure I'm doing it just right. 5 more seconds, and then we're going to be on our feet for push press. 3, 2, 1. On your feet. Grab your weights. This is that mini squat press. You can have one weight. You can have one dumbbell right in your chest. Starting in 2, 1. Bit of a squat. Push the weights up. Good. Remember, this is mostly leg drive. My hips are pushing forward, driving those weights up and overhead. If you want to add some speed for this, you can, as long as you keep your control. We have 15 more seconds here. Kettlebell swings will be next. 4, 3, 2, 1. If you have a kettlebell, you can grab that. You can grab onto 1 or 2 dumbbells that you have in front of you. Starting these swings in 2, 1, 45 seconds. Now we don't bring our kettles up and past our shoulders. I don't really like the overhead version. I do really want the hips kind of hinging back, not squatting, hinge. More deadlift style than squat style. We're over halfway. Making sure we're not leaning back in these. You come right to your neutral strong position and hold right there. We don't need to load our lumbar. Here for 5 seconds. Then we're taking it into pop squats. 3, 2, 1. Weights are down. Start hitting our pop squats. And 2, 1. We're out. Pop in, back down. So the low squat is only on the outside. Just hopping back in. Remember, you can take it low impact. You're stepping it out here. After all those squat jumps, these are feeling great. All right, we're halfway. Let's see if we can pick up our pace now. 20 more seconds. After this, we're down on the floor for ball ups. Three, 2, 1, to the floor. Ball ups. We're starting these in 2 and 1. You can bring one knee up at a time. You can bring both knees up. If you need more of a challenge, you can keep your legs off of the floor the whole time. For me, that pulls into my back, so I don't do that version. Just like with RBS, I should be hearing your exhale with every up. We're never holding our breath through our core exercises. Ten more seconds, and then we'll be on our feet to finish with curls. 3, 2, 1. This is our last exercise for this round, and we'll take a short rest. Coming up for our curls in 2 and 1. I'm looking for lots of control. I want to see the elbows pinned in at the sides, giving your full range of motion. Lots of us want to short it and stop right there. I want you to take it almost all the way straight. The torso isn't leaning back to help. Yeah, we've done a bit of arms, so my shoulders are for sure saying hello, they're burning. 10 more seconds through this. 3, 2, 1. Good, weights are down. Let's take a rest. We are going through that one more time. We totally have time to get through it. 45-second pieces. All right, we'll be starting down on the ground, plank up downs. Now, I definitely know this is the point of the workout, and this happened to me, where I'm online and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm done. No, we're not done. Give me 5 more minutes. Finish this strong. Your best effort happening right now, because this is when you're getting stronger. Here we go, plank up downs. We're starting in 2 and 1. How still can you keep your hips in these? We're over halfway now. Last 10. Push press will be next. 3, 2, 1. Grab your weight on your feet. Let's start this up. 2, 1. Little squat, driving those hips forward. to explode those weights up towards the ceiling. Oh, this is hard. And 15 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Grabbing your kettlebell or your dumbbell, kettlebell swings. Starting in 2, 1. This point of the workout, each and every exercise is a bit of a fight because we're getting tired. But I do not want you to compromise your form. Still do those form checks. Keep this at a hinge. No leaning back. 15 more seconds to go. Our pop squats will be next. Two, 1. Take your 10 seconds. In and out squats or pop squats. Final 3 exercises. Let's go. Going at a pace that makes you huff and puff a bit. Should be a bit of cardio here. We're over halfway. Our ball ups will be next on the ground. We have 2 more exercises. Stay with me. 3, 2, 1. To the floor, ball ups. Final couple minutes this morning. Going in 2, 1. Last 10 of these, and then we're on our feet for curls. 2, 1. On your feet. Grabbing your weight. 2 and 1. Finishing off with a good bicep burn. Still getting your full range of motion. Minding your form. Your last 20 seconds. Four, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Weights are down. Oh, good job. High five. High five, you guys. That was hard. All right, it is also still not the time for you to turn me off and walk away. Everybody's going to take a moment to cool down, catch your breath, and let's take a stretch. I'll lead us through a stretch, but this is your workout. If you know there's some stretches you need to do, go ahead and do those, or you can follow along with me. Ooh, I'm coming. Taking a big inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling, then swan dive down. Hanging the head here. Oh, this feels great, so I'm going to do it again. Rolling up one vertebra at a time, reaching up towards the ceiling, then diving down. Exhale. Letting the head hang here. Walking my hands over towards one side. Hello, hamstrings. And then walking my hands over down to the other side. I'm going to make my way down to child's pose, coming down onto my knees, sinking the hips back and reaching the arms forward. After a few breaths there, walking the hands off to one side, feeling that stretch all the way down and feeling my shoulders and my lats. Still thinking about long exhales here. Your exhales should be longer than your inhales. Walking my hands over to the other side. Now we can come into a glute stretch. If pigeon is your stretch, great. That's where your stretch is here. If this isn't good on your knees, you can join me in a figure 4. Lots of different ways to stretch out your glute. Find the way that works best for your body and your joints. There's a lying figure 4 here where you're in this position, lying on your back. When you're ready, switch sides. Now, when it comes to glute stretches, we have lots of layers of glutes. So I encourage everybody to take the time maybe to sometimes sit in these stretches and pigeon in your figure 4 stretch for like a few minutes on each side. And you'll be able to feel like one layer kind of, stretch out and relax. And then you'll feel it in another layer and then another layer. And it's a great stretch to hold, kind of like in yin yoga, to hold it for a long time. Good. I'm going to make my way into a hip flexor stretch. You may want to have something soft under that down knee. So I'm going to down lunge and I'm pressing the hips forward. Really feeling my hip flexor in the quad. So a couple of announcements. I'm just going to go out to all of our Greater Sac. Davis is offering a park workout tomorrow at 8 o'clock to raise money for a wonderful charity here in town, an organization that supports women in our community that have breast cancer. So if you want to come out, you can sign up online. It's a free class. You can come out to the park. We're accepting monetary donations from Pride in Pink, that one of our coaches is a part of. And let's go ahead and switch sides. This is open to all, so if you want to bring a friend, you can come and we'll have them, sign a waiver when we're there. Just bring a mat, leave your friend to sweat, and if you want to donate, you can. That'll be at 8 o'clock at Willow Bank Park. The cross streets are Cowell and Washoe. I'll be putting that on our Facebook site too. Is that happening this morning? That's tomorrow morning. That's tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock. There's some gals at West Davis Park right now. All right, I'm going to stretch out my shoulders for a fun last thing. I know I'm going to have to be getting off for the 9 o'clock here pretty soon. Here is your free stretch. Thank you all for joining me. It was fabulous to have you. It's a perfect way to start out our Saturday. Oh, good. I still see lots of you on. Oh, good. The next kayak coach is on and then is going to be getting ready. So good to see you, Jen and Aaron. Hello, Patty and Jennifer. All right, we will finish off with one last speed reach. A swan dive down. Holding here for a moment. And then rolling up. Happy Saturday.